you're returning, welcome back to my channel. So today we are making candles for, gifts for Christmas or just in general. And I don't really know what I'm doing. I kind of do. I did some research and I did some extra research before filming this. And I realized a couple things that I'll kind of go through as I go. But this is to be fun and creative and just, try something new and to kind of follow along with that. And we'll learn together. Yeah.
Hey guys, Amy from the future here. I was editing and over the last couple days I realized I was so excited to get into the videos that I didn't even say hello and introduce you to my 12 days of creative Christmas. So welcome to my 12 days of creative Christmas. I am going to be doing 12 days of Christmas, all sorts of creative videos, anywhere from DIY Christmas decorations, to Christmas gifts, and just general Christmas celebrations and things like that, where I'm going to be making creative videos. So it's either creative to share with you, for you to do as well, or creative for you to just enjoy. So I hope that you enjoy the series, and yeah, and enjoy this candle making video. Bye!
So I'll go through all the items that I'm going to be using today. I have my jars that I'm going to be using, and I got these at Dollarama for $4 for the whole 8-pack, so that was really great. And they look like this. They have nothing on the sides, which is exactly what I was looking for. A lot of mason jars and stuff have things on the sides, and I just wasn't really into that aesthetic. These are really cute lids. I might keep these, but I actually might fabric them over with some hot glue to cinch them on the sides, and maybe have them kind of, fluffing over. Yeah, we'll see. When I was looking for jars, there was a lot of other jars at Dollarama that were really great. I'm going to insert some pictures here. As well, depending on what kind of look you're looking for, and they're all really reasonably priced, which is awesome. Yeah, different sizes and looks and everything, so that was awesome. Yeah, so for wax, I had a hard time finding actual wax pieces to melt down. The only things that I found were the chunks at Michael's, and they came in bricks like this, and it was decently large chunks, which was fine, but it was $35 or something for the brick. I'm like, whoa, no, I'm good. I don't need it that bad. But a couple people that I found online, what they had done, they just got cheap candles and just broke off chunks and melted that down. So I was actually going to do that with this candle, but this candle's really, I really like the size of it. It's really, I don't know, classically pretty. So I think I might actually keep this. This was also from Dollarama, and it was $3.50, which is actually pretty decent for a candle that size. It's actually a little bit cheaper than the one that I found at Walmart for the same size. And, so what I actually am going to use are these little tea light candles. So for a bunch of them, they're pretty cheap, and the pieces are, already quite small, so it's going to melt down pretty evenly. The only thing that's going to be a pest, obviously, is all the tiny little wicks. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to take a little net, and I'm just going to fish them out when everything's kind of all melted. So I'm going to do that. This was, I think, $8 for 100 of these, and that's going to be more than enough. There is actually a number of options for wax. I'm going to put a link below for, they actually went through the basics of like picking your wicks, your waxes, your containers, all the like basic to get started, like making your candles. They went through really well for that in a more like to be a professional candle maker type direction. So if you're interested in that, I'll link that below so that you can take a look. It is a little like higher level, like I wouldn't really do some of the stuff that they're talking about, just because they are talking about more if you're making a bunch of candles and if you're doing it at a high level to sell them kind of thing. But anyway, so from him I actually learned, which I didn't know, that there's different sizes of wicks, which totally makes sense. But yeah, so there's different sizes of wicks that not just for height wise, but like the width wise and how fast they burn and everything. So you don't really want to mix a large wick like this with like a small candle, which is what I'm making. So that's why I'm probably only going to make a couple of them, just because they'll probably burn quite quickly, and it'll burn a lot of the wax, and it'll just not burn very well. So you'll want to, like for this size of jar, you would want to get a small wick. So it actually does specify, which I noticed after the fact, after I had learned that. I'm like, oh, it does actually say medium on here. So you would it would probably specify like small or something if you get this was from Michaels. So if you get it from Michaels, it would be something like that. So yeah, so the wicks, so these are the wicks that I'm going to be using, just because that's what I have. But now I have wicks for creating like large candles, which is kind of cool, which I'll do once I find a source for larger amounts of wax. Okay, and then what I'll be using is a jar, and this is for actually melting. So I'm jumping around again. So the wicks actually, so you can buy pre-made wicks like this, where it already has the base on there, or you can make your own wicks. I imagine that you would have to get the right size, like width of like wick string, whatever it's called, as well. So just kind of look out for that. But yeah, so you could make your own, just cut it to size and put it in the base. I'm not really sure how that works, but Michaels has all the pieces. They do have bulk string pieces and the end pieces, but the smallest packs were like $7 each, and this was also $7. I was like, I don't really need that many, so I just got this. Yeah, so okay, now back to the jar. So this jar I'm going to be using to actually melt all the little candles, all my wax in. And what is really best is if you do have something with a handle, because I'm going to have to be really careful with this, because it's going to be freaking hot. So I'm going to be using my mitts, which you'll see later. But if you can have something with a handle, even like a metal pot kettle type thing would be really great. But just something that like you're not going to use for other stuff is best. That's why I'm using this jar, because I'm not going to use it for anything else. I was actually planning to make a candle in it, so this is actually perfect. Yeah, so this is going to melt down the wax, and that I'll show you how to do that later. And then popsicle sticks. So these are to hold your wicks in place while your candle is hardening. And the last thing is the essential oils for fragrance. So you don't have to do this step because, some people like unscented candles, and that's totally fine. Some people have to have unscented candles if they're, allergic or anything. But the people I'm giving this to are not. So there we go. So yeah, that's, I'm using, that literally had no information on it. So I'm actually using like a lavender essential oil. It's a mix of a couple things. Lavender Dreams essential oil blend with coconut oil. It has natural coconut oil, lavender, rosemary, and spearmint. And I was doing some testing yesterday, and it smells really nice. So yeah, so that's what I'm using there. And I'm actually gonna test something out with coloring. I don't know how that's gonna go. I wasn't really able to, like, I didn't really find anything on it, and there was a couple coloring things, but I sort of just want to play with it and experiment and just like try what I think is gonna work, and it might go horribly wrong, but that's okay. It's gonna be fun. So that'll be one of the candles I'm just gonna play with, like a color thing. So I guess I'll make 3 of them then, because I'll make 2, because I have 2 people in mind that I want to give a candle to. And then one of them I'll probably just keep unless it goes great, and then I'll give it to somebody. But yeah, so those are my materials, and sorry that took way too long, but so let's get started. Okay, so the first step that I'm doing is just popping all the candles out of their little silver bases. And this is going to be a tedious process, so I don't know if you're going to do this, because this is a lot. But I just got my little thumbnail underneath, just bent it, and then you can just pop it out. Pop. Yeah, so I'm going to do that with, I don't know, I'm probably going to fill it all the way because it's going to melt quite a bit down. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. So I just figured something out. That's cool. So by accident, I love accidents. I just figured out that, so I broke it in half just by putting pressure on the bottom there. So I broke it in half, broken there. And so then I popped it out like I was before. And so popped it out. But then the wick is still stuck to it. So that means I won't be having to dig out the wicks. That's awesome. Heck yeah! That makes. And so that was just under 30 of those little tea lights. I think it was about 27, 28 if you rough count of the little things. But yeah, so I'm gonna melt it and see how much I have, and we're gonna pour a couple candles and see if it needs. So I just want to make a note. I'm not gonna do it this way again with like the tea lights, just because. Well, a couple reasons. One, it wasn't that much work, but like, it would be easier and more efficient to just, get the meltable wax, but also, the waste of the little metal, holder, like, tea light holder things. I don't like that. So I don't want to do that again. I just, I wasn't able to find the actual wax at a decent price. For this video. So next time I would definitely buy it online, because that's definitely an option. I've seen that. I've seen decently priced wax, like way back when I was kind of taking a look at them before. So yeah, buying them like on Amazon would definitely be a good option. But yeah, I just want to make that note. Okay, carrying on. So how I'm melting this wax is I'm taking a pot of hot water. I put it on high, but it's not boiling yet. And then I am going to put my jar in the middle, and that I will let the water heat the wax up and it'll melt.
Hey guys, progress report. So I realized that I don't want the water to be boiling because I have the jar right up against the bottom. So I'm actually going to turn the water down, or the heat down, which I already did. I turned it down to like a low just to get the temperature down. So I'm probably going to turn it back up to like a low medium once it stops bubbling. Just because I don't want like the bubbles to happen, because that could cause issues with the jar being up against. I don't know if it actually will, just like in my head I see things going terribly wrong. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm just kind of like moving stuff around. You can see it's already like starting to melt. It's only been on here for, I'd say, like 6 or 7 minutes, so it doesn't take too long. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing for a little while longer, and I'll check back in. All right, so I'm gonna set up my candles while I'm waiting for my wax to melt. Just to keep it in place, I'm gonna do a small dab of hot glue, and I'm just gonna use my popsicle stick to just press it down. You want to center it as much as possible, but you know, whatever happens, happens. And then the last one. And this is just going to keep it from floating around. Okay, so now that they're in place, I am going to take this popsicle stick, and I'm just going to hold it up against the jar here, and I'm just going to take where the wick and the popsicle stick meet. I'm going to hold it there, and I'm just going to fold it over, and then hold it there and like fold it around the popsicle stick, because you want it to be kind of like snug so that it holds it in place, and just like pull it. Yeah, and there you go. So now that's going to stay there, and I can do the next one. So I'll do that for all three, and then they'll be ready to go. And then that way the wick will stay nice and straight while it's drying. There we go. All three candles are ready to go. All right, so my wax is melted, and now we're going to go ahead and pour it into the candles. And I'm really hoping that it doesn't pour, that it pours nice. Yeah. So I don't know if we're actually gonna get 3 candles out of this, so I'm gonna pour all right, so now I have some leftover wax that I can use to kind of top up the tops. If they have divots, which they probably will. There's actually a trick that I found to kind of sit it in hot water. That's a really cool trick. I didn't know how I was going to film that. So if you wanted to try that, then that's a good idea to kind of remove the chance of as extreme divots as I'm probably going to get. But I have extra wax that I'll just fill the divots with after. Okay, so the candles actually turned out really well, way better than I thought they would. If you kind of look, they created, like, I have a couple little divots here. There's some air pockets here, but overall, like, it's pretty good. It was way better than I was expecting. However, like I said before, I do have some extra wax, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour that extra wax into the candles now. So something that I learned in that video that I referenced and that I have linked below is when you're melting your wax, to let it cool a little bit. If you want to be really specific, having a thermometer would help, but letting it cool so that it's not as clear, just that way it cools a little bit better after you pour it, and it doesn't have as many divots. I think that's
also why I had such success with these candles, because I didn't do anything else. I just let it cool for a little bit before I actually poured, and I think that's why it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. I didn't really wait this time, so hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me, but here we go. I'm just going to top them up so that they're close to the very top of the jar. So these first two are the ones that I'm giving to people. Sorry, you probably got a giant red mitt in the camera. There we go. So now I'll do the one that I'm keeping, now that I know I have enough. There we go. All right. Okay, so those are up to the level that I want them to be. So now I'm going to let those cool, and I'm going to then cut the wicks and put on the final touches we're about to create. Okay, so this is the paper that I'm going to be using. I'm just going to make a little tag. So first I'm going to trace out the shape that I want, then I'm going to cut it out, and then I will write the text and such. So here we go.
Got my head over water for the first time in years. Got my feet crossed the border from a land of tears. Ain't no way I'm going back under. Got my eyes in the wild blue yonder. Will lies beyond the horizon. Let's go.
So the second one I cut out, I went with more of a square shape, just because I want something a little bit different. There is no rules. You can do whatever you want. And now I'm gonna do the same thing on this side.
Free to go left or right. I wanna feel free to go wherever I choose. Free to stay or just cut loose. Free to sing, free to dance, free to give into lust and romance. Free, that's what I wanna be. That's what I wanna be. Now things are moving along and I'm picking
So for the hole to put the string through, what I'm doing, I'm just gently poking with my scissor tip, just so I don't hurt my finger. However, what you can do if you want, obviously, like a cleaner hole, is you can use a hole punch. I just don't have one of those, and I don't like really have the need to use it. Oh, this one isn't really working this well. The other one went through really well. Oh, there we go. Yeah, if it's not going through, if you are using this method, just like twist it and it'll eventually go through. Yeah, with the other hole, I poked through quite a bit. I'm just going to try to just go through a little bit on this one. And what you can do, I do have my purple pen, so it'll be about the same color. I can just poke through with a pen. Poke through with a pen to just round it out a little bit. Here we go. There. Now you can barely see the hole on this one. And I think I want to keep it that way. Other things that you can do too is you can actually use little, I don't know what they're called, but they're little silver rings where you would actually press them into to create a hole. I think you can get really small ones that you could use on paper. Yeah, you could do that. It's like clamps onto the paper on both sides. But yeah, So that's my second tag, and I'm gonna also use the same string for that. And now let's finish up. Okay, so as a bonus, I'm gonna try covering up this top because it's cute, but it's not necessarily like, you know, purple and cuteness, like purple cuteness. So what I'm gonna try to do is cover it up with this like kind of velvety, like soft fabric. It's a very light purple, almost like a light lavender color. So I'm gonna try 2 different methods and just see which one I like most. And you know, if I don't like one of them, then that'll be the one that I keep. So what I did here, I cut out a square of fabric, and it's not an exact square, it's fine, because it's going to be all like cinched and kind of ripply. I kind of like the fact that it's going to be a little bit different lengths. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue around the edges, and this is going to be almost like on jars of jam where, you know, you see the ribbon or something where it's tied like that. So I'm going to kind of create that effect, but without having a ribbon or a string on top. So I'm going to do that now. So I glued on the outside there. And so I'm just going to place it kind of in the middle, and I'm just going to fold it over and press it. And now you don't want to press in too many big areas because you want it to kind of create that cinched look. So now I'm going to go around and just add a little bit of glue at a time and just add it and press it down. Press it down like that. And so I'm just going to go around the whole top doing that. So now you want to be careful because, like, I don't know about other jars, but these jars, the part that twists on is the actual folded part, so you can't put anything underneath at all. So you just want to be careful not to get anything in there, else you're going to mess up the seal. So yeah, I'm just going to go around the whole circle and doing that, and I'll be back. Okay, so for the second kind of option that I wanted to try, is not having the little bits around. I want to make it as super snug as possible. And like I said before, this is actually how it twists onto the jar, so I can't fold it under. That's normally what I would do to kind of hide the raw edge. So what I'm kind of gonna have to do is sort of roll it as I go, so I can kind of hide that. You don't have to do that. I just don't want specifically the edge to be showing. So we'll see how this is gonna go. I don't know if this is actually gonna work out. So what I want to do is I want to cut it as close as possible. So that means that I'm gonna leave, maybe even, let's try this. I'm gonna hold this down against the countertop, and I'm going to kind of make a line here of where it, yeah, there we go, of where it ends. I'm just going to do that on all, let's say, 4 sides here. Maybe one in between. Okay, so now I'm going to cut along the circle. And I'm actually using fabric scissors. Now I do want to cut just outside that circle, so I have a little bit of work to work with. I just realized I probably cut too close now because I was going to roll it, so I might not be able to do that. So we'll see what happens. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, see, I don't have nearly enough to roll anything. So I'm just going to have a raw edge, and that's just how it is. Oh, well. Okay, so now I'm going to start by adding glue to one side and sticking it on. So I have my glue there, make sure it's in the middle, and I'm just going to fold it up. So that's our starting point. And now I'm going to do kind of the same thing as I did last time and just go around little by little and just add a little bit of glue and fold up the edge. And now I'm going little by little because that creates that cinching effect, because if you go one big fold at a time, you're going to get these ridges here that you don't really want. Well, maybe you do, I don't know, but I don't really want that. I want it to be kind of even all the way across. So I'm just doing little by little. Now with this, you want to be really careful. If you are going to kind of do this method, you want to be really careful not to pull from this side, or else you're going to find that you're not going to have enough left over on that side to actually cover the top. This is a really close fit. Yeah, I almost want to say it might make more sense to glue first, cut after, but then you're not going to have a super straight edge cut. And that was pretty important to me. So this is what made sense to my brain. Okay, so there's my top. So that's kind of cute. Yeah, so if you are going to do this, you want to make sure that you have a type of material that's not going to fray. This one, it doesn't normally fray, but because it's a soft fur, like these are just loose little bits that were cut off, so it's not going to fray, but it's just coming off for now. But yeah, you want to make sure that you only use fabric that's not going to fray, or else you're going to have the edges fraying after you gift it to somebody, and that's not fun. Or you want to hem the edges somehow, but that's a hassle to me. So there we go. So that's the second top. I kind of like that one too, so I think both of these kind of worked out pretty well. Here, I'll show you on a jar. So this is the first one. So that one works well, and then this one. So that one works well too. So yay, success. All right, so now that our candles are dried and our cute details are made, we are going to pull out our popsicle sticks and we're going to cut our wicks and put on all the cute details. With our last finishing touches. The only thing that I would say for me is these are a little bit too big. I think it is kind of cute with the oversized. However, I would have made them a little bit smaller. So if you're making a tag, anything like that, just do a test run and test it on the actual size of the jar. I totally thought I was gonna do that, and I thought, oh, I should do that, and then I just didn't. So, well, such is life, I guess, sometimes.
But yeah, so that's the tags. That's with the covers. I really love these covers. I'm actually really happy with that. It is actually this fabric that I'm using as a tablecloth right now, but it's really nice. It's like a soft lavender fabric, and this is cute too, just alone. So to kind of see a few different options, just to show you kind of what they look like. That was enjoyable for you. I had a lot of fun, and I hope that you kind of learned a couple things, and check out those links below. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like this kind of content, I am doing my 12 days of Christmas right now, 12 days of creative Christmas right now. But after this, I will be going to 1 to 2 days a week. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll be doing similar things. So DIYs, just general crafty things, creative things, things that I'd be, think would be cool. If you're into that kind of thing and want to just hang out with me and do crafty stuff, then go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can get notifications. And I'm getting better at this outro stuff. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, like it. I like this video if you like it. That seems yeah, anyway. Yeah, I hope you like the video and have a wonderful day.